Welcome back to the channel, tennis fans. If you've been scrolling through your feeds, checking the headlines, or just keeping an ear to the ground in the world of professional tennis, you already know that the atmosphere down under is absolutely electric right now. We are mere days away from the first Grand Slam of the year, the Australian Open at Melbourne Park. But before a single ball is struck in the main draw of the slam, the tennis world has been gifted a storyline so compelling, so immediate, and so historically significant that it demands our absolute and undivided attention right now. We are talking about a rematch that has ignited the hard courts of Australia. We are talking about a clash that transcends a typical exhibition label and moves straight into the territory of a grudge match, a proving ground, and a historic celebration all rolled into one. The headline screaming across social media, the phrase on the lips of every Filipino fan, and every tennis analyst watching the rise of the new generation is simple yet powerful. JUICEKO Lord! The exclamation of shock, of thrill, and of pride. Because come January 14th, 2026, we are witnessing the collision course we didn't know we needed so soon, but now can't live without. It is Alexandra Alex, Eala of the Philippines, going head-to-head once again with the Croatian powerhouse, Donna Vekic. And this isn't happening on a practice court. This is happening at the Kuyong Classic, an exclusive, invitation-only event that serves as a final, most prestigious tune-up for the elite before the Grand Slam hellfire begins. Now, why is the internet exploding over this? Why is a match at Kuyong, traditionally an exhibition, carrying the weight of a major final? To understand the magnitude of this moment, we have to look at the immediate context. This is not a random pairing. This is a direct, high-stakes rematch from their absolute war at the ASB Classic in Auckland just days ago. If you watched that match, you know exactly why we are here. That was an intense, three-set battle where Alex Eala didn't just play. She announced her arrival. She took down Vekic, a former top 20 player, a Wimbledon semifinalist, and an Olympic silver medalist. But it wasn't just a win. It was the win. That victory in Auckland was a catalyst. The final push that shattered the glass ceiling for Philippine tennis. Because of that performance, and the points accumulated in that run, Alexandra Eala has officially risen to world number 49 in the latest WTA rankings. Let that sink in for a second. Number 49. This is a historical milestone of massive proportions. Alex Eala is now the first Filipino in the Open era to enter the top 50 of the WTA singles rankings. She has done what was once thought impossible, or at least decades away for Southeast Asian tennis. The implications of this ranking are tangible and immediate. By cracking the top 50, Eala enters the Australian Open 2026 as a direct entry in the main draw. Gone are the days of grinding through the relentless qualifying rounds. Gone is the anxiety of the pre-tournament tournament. She walks into Melbourne Park through the front door, recognized as an elite member of the tour. This provides her with a massive advantage. Physically, she is fresher. Mentally, she is validated. It is the ultimate proof that she is not an outsider looking in. She is a recognized, dangerous part of the elite circle in women's tennis. And now, she walks into Kuyong. The Kuyong Classic doesn't hand out ranking points, but do not let that fool you. The players invited to this venue, the spiritual home of Australian tennis, are chosen for a reason. They are chosen because they have high rankings, massive market appeal, or immense talent. Alex Eala's invitation to Kuyong is the final stamp of legitimacy. It says she is not just a rising star anymore. She is a box office attraction. She is a legitimate competitor on the WTA Tour who puts people in seats. On the other side of the net, we have Donna Vekic. And make no mistake, for Vekic, this is personal. This rematch has a completely different weight for her. She is a veteran. She has a pedigree. The Olympic silver, the deep Grand Slam runs. To lose to a teenager in Auckland was considered one of the unexpected upsets of that tournament. For a player of Vekic's stature, that stings. This rematch at Kuyong is her immediate opportunity to regain control of the narrative. It is her chance to regain confidence, to prove that her power game, her experience, and her veteran savvy are still effective against the relentless surge of the new generation. She wants to show that Auckland was a fluke, a bad day at the office. Eala wants to prove it was a new normal. So the stage is set. We have the history-making underdog who has just become a top 50 titan. We have the decorated veteran looking to reassert her dominance. We have the hallowed grounds of the Kuyong Lawn Tennis Club. And we have a global fan base holding its breath. JUICEKO Lord, indeed, this is the match that sets the tone for the entire Australian summer. Let's transition now into a deep dive analysis of this matchup. We need to strip away the hype for a moment and look at the mechanics, the tactics, and the physical reality of what we are about to see on January 14th. This deep dive will cover 4 critical pillars: the tactical evolution, the physical equation, the venue factor, and the mental warfare. First, let's look at the tennis itself. The matchup between Eala and Vekic is a classic contrast of styles, and understanding this is key to predicting what might happen at Kuyong. In their first encounter in Auckland, the most remarkable takeaway was Eala's in-game adaptability. Often, young players go into a match with Plan A, and if Plan A fails, they crumble. Eala did the opposite. As the match against Vekic progressed, Eala changed the rhythm. She utilized her greatest weapon, that left-handed topspin forehand. By injecting heavy, dipping topspin and striking the ball earlier, Eala forced Vekic back. Donna Vekic thrives on the baseline. She likes to stand her ground and dictate with flat, aggressive, penetrating ground strokes. She wants to take time away from you. But in Auckland, Eala turned the tables. By using the lefty spin to open up the court and pushing Vekic behind the baseline, she neutralized Vekic's power. When Vekic is forced to hit from 2 or 3 feet behind the baseline, her flat shots lose some of their sting and the risk of hitting into the net increases. We saw this in the unforced error count, which gradually climbed for Croatian as the match wore on. This tactical maturity is the primary reason Eala has rocketed into the top 50. She isn't just hitting the ball hard. She is constructing points with the intelligence of a 10-year veteran. She is solving puzzles in real time. However, Kuyong presents a new variable. The court conditions at the Kuyong Lawn Tennis Club are historically different from Auckland. While both are hard courts in the modern iteration of Classic, the surface in Melbourne tends to be faster. A faster court generally favors the flat hitter. This means the conditions at Kuyong might give a slight, inherent advantage back to Donna Vekic. If the ball skids through the court, Eala will have less time to set up her big topspin shots. Vekic's flat drives will rush Eala more than they did in Auckland, but there is a counter-argument. A faster court also rewards the lefty serve and the slider out wide. If Eala can utilize her lefty advantage to slide the ball away from Vekic's strike zone, opening up angles, she can use the court speed to her own benefit. It will be a battle of who can hold the baseline. If Vekic steps in, she wins. If Eala pushes her back with spin and depth, the Filipino star takes it. The second pillar of our analysis is the physical condition of the players. We cannot ignore the toll that the Auckland run took on Eala. In her last matches at the ASB Classic, we saw her take a medical timeout. She played a series of grueling, long matches to secure that title and that ranking. Although she finished the tournament strong, displaying immense heart, the physical load on her body was undeniably high. Tennis at the elite level is a game of millimeters and split seconds. If Eala is carrying any lingering fatigue or minor strains from Auckland, Donna Vekic will exploit it. Vekic is a physical player. She hits a heavy ball that demands you to be stable and strong in your defensive stances. This is where the format of the Kuyong Classic becomes a strategic asset. It is an exhibition. It provides a controlled environment. While the players want to win, they are not fighting for ranking points. This allows Eala to test her condition against a top-tier opponent without necessarily pushing her body to the absolute breaking point if something feels wrong. It is the perfect litmus test. Can she sustain the intensity of Auckland against a vengeful Vekic, or will the fatigue of her recent triumph show in her footwork? For Vekic, physically, she is likely fresher. Having exited Auckland earlier than Eala, she has had more days to recover, acclimate to Melbourne heat, and practice on the faster courts. She will be looking to extend rallies, move Eala side to side, and test those legs. We must also touch upon the significance of the venue. The Kuyong Lawn Tennis Club is not just a club. It is a museum of Australian tennis history. It was the former home of the Australian Open. To be invited here is a statement of status. For Alex Eala, stepping onto the court at Kuyong is a branding moment as much as a sporting one. The organizers invite players who have market appeal. By inviting Eala, they are acknowledging the massive, passionate fan base she brings, the Filipino community in the Southeast Asian region. But they are also acknowledging her quality. You don't get invited to Kuyong just for likes. You get invited because you can play. This environment is different from a chaotic outside court at a slam. It is intimate, historic, and prestigious. For a young player, managing the awe of the venue is part of the test. For a veteran like Vekic, this is familiar territory. She knows the atmosphere. Eala will need to settle her nerves quickly and realize she belongs on this stage. The imposter syndrome that can sometimes plague young athletes breaking into the elite tier must be silenced immediately. Her ranking says she belongs. Now she has to play like she belongs in this specific arena. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, is the psychological aspect. The mental preparation for this match is fascinating. For Alex Eala, the narrative is validation. She needs to prove that Auckland wasn't a flash in the pan. In tennis, beating a top player once is great. Beating them twice in a row proves dominance. It proves that the matchup issue is real. If she beats Vekic again, she enters the Australian Open with an aura of invincibility. She sends a message to the locker room. I am not just top 50 on paper. I am top 50 on the court. For Donna Vekic, the narrative is redemption and authority. She needs to reestablish the pecking order. She is the Grand Slam semifinalist. She is the Olympic medalist. She cannot afford to let a teenager, no matter how talented, get a psychological edge over her heading into a major. If Vekic loses again, doubts will creep in. Is she just better than me? Is my game too slow for her? Those are the questions Vekic must silence. She needs to show that she can control the aggression of a young player full of momentum. This dynamic creates a tension that is palpable. It's why the media interest is so high. It's why the fans are buzzing. It's a microcosm of the eternal battle in sports. The established guard trying to hold off the surging rookie. As we wrap up this extensive preview, we have to pull back and look at the bigger picture. Why does this specific match, an exhibition at Kuyong, resonate so deeply? Why is the phrase JUICEKO Lord trending? Why are we seeing posts about being braver and dreaming big? It is because Alexandra Eala's journey represents something larger than just forehands and backhands. Her rise to the top 50 is a beacon. It is a tangible proof of concept for Philippine tennis. For decades, there has been a belief that perhaps the physical disadvantages or the lack of infrastructure would always keep Filipino players from the absolute apex of the singles game. Eala has shattered that myth. Her message, being braver, dreaming big, is not just a marketing slogan. It is a tactical reality we saw in Auckland and the mindset she brings to Kuyong. Being braver means going for the lines on breakpoint. Dreaming big means looking at an Olympic silver medalist across the net and believing you are the better player. When she steps onto the court on January 14th against Donna Vekic, she carries the momentum of a nation. But more importantly, she carries the confidence of a professional who has done the work. The viral rematch is viral because it represents hope and achievement, colliding with experience and grit. For Donna Vekic, this is business. It is about sharpening the tools before the war in Melbourne Park. It is about professional pride. And that makes her the most dangerous kind of opponent Eala could face right now. A motivated, focused veteran who wants to set the record straight. So, circle the date. January 14th, 2026. The Kuyong Classic. Eala versus Vekic 2. Will the faster courts of Melbourne restore the veterans' dominance? Or will the lefty spin and the being braver mindset of the Filipina sensation prove that the torch has truly been passed? We don't have long to wait to find out. The Australian Open is on the horizon, but the fire starts burning right here, right now, at Kuyong. Thank you so much for joining me for this deep dive. I want to hear from you in the comments below. What is your prediction? Does a faster court favor Vekic, or is Eala's momentum simply unstoppable right now? And for my Filipino viewers, let me hear you. Drop a Laban Pilipinas or a JUICEKO Lord in the comments if you are watching this match live. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed this in-depth analysis. Subscribe to the channel for daily updates throughout the Australian Open, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a breaking story. Until next time, keep your eyes on the ball and keep dreaming big. This is your host, signing off.